Welcome to a few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos we have the privilege of reading Parshas Nasso. Parshas Nasso has the distinction of being the Parsha with the largest number of psukim in the Torah, 176 psukim. It's interesting to note that the largest chapter of Tehillim, Kuf Yutes, also has 176 psukim. It's interesting also to note that the largest Masechta in Shas, Bava Basra, has 176 blot. Right before Revi in Parshas Nasso, the pasuk says, "Ve'ish es kadoshav lo yihiyu, ish asher yiten la kohen lo yihiyeh." And a person, his holy things, they belong to him. A person's holy things that he gives to the kohen will be to him. So the Rashi quotes the Sifri to try to help explain this rather ambiguously worded pasuk, and the Sifri in the Medrash says as following: "The ish es kadoshav." If a person holds on to the money he's to give to tzedakah, which is holy money, the ish es kadoshav. If a person holds on to the money of tzedakah instead of giving it away, lo yehiyu, to him will be the tzedakah. Normally, one gives 10%. What you give away, that is what's considered tzedakah. But if you don't give it away, you'll be left with just the 10%. The ish es kadoshav. If a person holds on to the tzedakah, lo yihiyu, that amount of tzedakah, that's all that he's going to have. Ish asher yiten la kohen. But if a person gives his 10% to tzedakah that he's supposed to give to the kohen, lo yihiyeh, to him will be, as Rashi quotes the Sifri, mamon harbe. He will have a lot of money. As the Gemara in Tainus on Daf Tes, which explains the pasuk aser to aser, which means you should surely give a tenth. Aser b'shvil shetis asher. Give your tenth so that you'll become wealthy. And the Tosfos on Daf Tes explains that if a person is entrusted with money and he gives away the 10%, Hashem keeps trusting him with that amount of money because he knows that he's giving what he's supposed to give to the poor, to the Kohen, to tzedakah. But if he holds on to the money and he ends up only getting that which he was supposed to give away, which is only 10%. And the Tosfos tells a story quoted in the Sifri in which a father he had a field that produced 1,000 core. 1,000 core of produce. That's a tremendously large amount of produce. One core itself is equal to 520 pounds of produce. You're talking here about 1,000 times 520. So it's a tremendous amount of produce. And every year he would give away, out of the 1,000 core, he'd give away 100 core. And when it came time to leave the Yerusha to his son, he told his son, give away the 100 core every year, and you'll see that the land will continue to produce 1,000 core. And you'll give away the 100 core. And the son, the first year after the father passed away, gave the 100 core. And he was blessed with 1,000 core the next year again. But then he started seeing that the 100 core is a tremendous amount to give away, and he kept it to himself. And sure enough, the next year, it only produced 100 core. And all his relatives came to him and saying, why did you do this? Don't you realize that it says in the pasuk, if you give it away, then you'll have a lot. While if you keep it, ultimately, all you'll have is lo yihiyu, the amount you give away. The Oznaim LaTorah quotes a similar story about a king that called in his Jewish advisor, who all the other advisors were very jealous of, and were saying that he's stealing from the treasury. And the king asked the Jewish advisor, do you know how much money you have that belongs to you? And the advisor said a number which was only about 10 or 20% of what he really owned. The king got extremely angry at him and threatened him with death until the advisor showed him his charitable contributions. And he said, don't you see, sir, that I was referring to my charitable contributions? Those are the only things that I truly own. The rest, you never know. It could be here today and gone tomorrow. It's only the tzedakah that I have that truly belongs to me. And in fact, there is a similar story told about Moses Montefiore that is actually recorded in an article that was supposedly written by the London Evening News in 1884, celebrating his 100th birthday, that the Queen called Sir Moses Montefiore, that great religious Jew who gave so much tzedakah, and she said to him, tell me, Moses, how much are you worth? And Moses Montefiore said a number which was perhaps 10% of his true worth. And the Queen said to him, Moses, why are you always kidding around with me? Why don't you tell me the truth? Everyone knows you own much more than that. And Sir Montefiore said, you don't understand, Your Majesty. The only thing I really own is the money I gave away to tzedakah, to charity. That is mine and can never be taken away from me. And that is the meaning of the ish es kadosh of lo yihiyu. If you hold on to the tzedakah, all you're going to end up with is the tzedakah. Ish asher yiten la kohen. But if you give what you're supposed to the poor, to the kohen, lo yihiyeh. He, that person, will have much wealth. And so the Jewish people over all the centuries have done the best they can to give away their Meiser money, even though Meiser money itself is only midrabanan. The produce is midoraisa, minat Torah, but the money is midrabanan. We've done our best under all circumstances to give as much tzedakah as we possibly can because of the fact that the Torah, the Gemara, the Sifri, and even stories about Moses Montefiore point out how important it is for us to give tzedakah. Have a wonderful Shabbos.